Hi, everyone, and welcome to part three of this workshop around raising families for a world in flux. I've been talking about how to flourish in uncertainty. And on the first day, just to give a quick recap, I've talked about what's happening in the world, how I brought up the themes of renovation, innovation, and elevation in consciousness, and how I really emphasized that all of us, since we're alive at this time right now, we came for this change. We have a role to play. And even if it's a role of just being our most radiant selves at home and just for the people and our loved ones who are directly with us. And I invited you to give yourself permission to choose that, okay, this a better reality, a better future is available for me. And yesterday on day two, I talked about the birthrights, what I call your birthrights, that will help you navigate change. And these are your intuition and your own ability to be your own safety and regulate your nervous system. So if you're watching this on the replay and you haven't caught up on the replay, please go and watch part one and part two. And today, in part three, I'm going to talk about the superpowers that will help you not just survive the uncertainty that's happening, but it will also help you flourish and like be your best self. What's the word? Thrive. Like, I really want you to take these on board as things that are available to you. And if you nurture them in the right way, they will really um, create miracles in your life. And just to give this a bit of framing, a bit of context, I will also return to something I think I've said a lot, which is the law of oneness, where we as individuals are connected to everything else around us. Um, and I know I might sound like a broken record, but I keep returning to that idea. And we don't live in a vacuum. We are part of something greater, and we are connected to everything that is happening around us, everything that is happening on this planet. Now, from that, I want you to bring your attention on when we want to create something for ourselves, there's that inner desire or inner want that we want to create something different from, what we see happening or what we perceive is happening. So we have that inner desire. It's what you want, what your heart wants. Now, on the other hand, there's what the universe wants. And the universe sometimes have plans that you cannot imagine. The universe has plans for you that you cannot imagine because like they're way bigger than the dreams that you have for yourselves. So there's what you want and there's what the universe wants. And learning how to dance between the two is is a skill. So three things. The first thing I already touched on, which is the fact that we are all one. We are all connected to this big collective body, well, our planet Earth, the whole universe as well. The second thing is that there's always an evolutionarily impulse that is working our way through us, that is always expanding us. As as a species, as a part of this whole that we live in. There's always these evolutionary forces that are working their magic through us. And then the third part is there is the individual expression that we are. And this is our uniqueness, our own individual um, things that make us who we are. So we are all one, and there's this evolutionary force passing through us, and then there's that unique expression of who we are. And these, all three of them, they are converging inside us. So that's what I want you to know, that every single one of us is feeling the pressure from all these three things. Our connectedness, this evolutionary force, and also this unique expression. These three things are kind of joining together inside us. Our heart's desire, what we want, is a clue to follow. It starts there. For us to start making a connection to all these three things that are converging inside us, to start connecting to these three, we start with what we want, our heart's desire. Um, there's a lot of I know there's a lot of things out there around the law of attraction, and teachings that say, oh, get clear on what you want, raise your frequency, and you will get there. Part of it is true. The part which is, yes, you do need to start with what you want, but the rest of it, I always feel that it's missing. The law of attraction is missing the second part, which is it's what the universe wants for you. It's not about what you want. What you want gets you started, but there's a whole bigger part where the universe is the one who will, like, the whole universe. And when I say universe, I mean that hand of grace that is always holding us, the divine powers. Um, you can, some people call it God, goddess, whatever word you use to reflect that mysterious source of life that is just moving through us. So you start with what you want, and then you follow the impulses and you let the universe work its magic through you. The first superpower is actually knowing this and being aware of this and being humble to acknowledge that this is the reality uh, of being human. That's the first superpower that I offer you. It's it's easy for some people, but also difficult for other people, and it takes a lot of trust in something that is um, way beyond our knowing. It takes a lot of trust, and I will touch on trust a bit later. Hello for all of you joining us now. Yeah. Uh, so that was the first superpower, knowing that these three things are converging through you. So I'm just going to quickly repeat them. Uh, First of all, the fact that we are all connected, we are all, every single one of us is part of a wider whole. The second thing is that the evolutionary force moving through us There's some undeniable evolutionary forces moving through us. And the third thing is that there's the individual uniqueness and expression of who we are. These three things are converging through us, and knowing that is a superpower, which a lot of people don't touch on. Knowing that all these three things play an important role. Now, the second superpower is your ability to know your gifts and know how to nurture them. Yeah, see you soon, Timothy. Your gifts are those things that make up who you are, the uniqueness of how life expresses through you. When we talk about gifts, I want you to think of the frequencies that you get to shine, that you get to emit when you are showing up in your most authentic expression. And I'm going to give you an example. When a baby is born, newborns, you can really tell, like they just come radiating. They're very open. They're just, eyes wide, and they just radiate that love, that innocence. I want you to think that during your life, you also get to radiate that sort of frequency, no matter what age you are, no matter what kind of life you live, you still have that, pure frequency that that is born with you. And there's a lot of talk about um, success and achievements, and in the world, the world feeds us these ideas of success. In my experience, what success really means is how much you allow that light that you are born with to shine out. This is what success is, the degree to which you allow that light to shine out. And it can get expressed through different things, through different material things, but that's what it is. Um, it's that like uniqueness that you are born with, and that it's part of it is also the divine expressing itself through you. So like you are an expression of this wondrous magic source of life, and you are its unique expression. So this is what I mean by gifts. And when we are coming when from this place of living out our gifts, when we are doing some work or doing an initiative that really comes from our own gifts, this is what enables us to do aligned contribution to the world around us. And this is what gives us sustainable energy, and like we don't burn out. It's something that gives us, like, it actually fuels us. Instead of, even if we are giving, it's also giving back to us. It's allowing us to, you know, rejuvenate ourselves. And it prevents us from feeling separated from the world, from feeling, as if we don't belong, or as if we don't matter. So really contributing based on our unique combination of gifts is a key that will help us thrive in change, because as I was saying, like it gives us energy. instead of us, spinning our wheels or doing something just for the sake of checking boxes or because someone else told us we need to do this thing. No, we're actually contributing from a very aligned place. We are just shining our light with it. It's not like always easy and without effort. No, effort will be required sometimes, and there is work required and taking action, but it's coming from that aligned place where we know that it's right on point, and it just gives us meaning. And this is what the future years are going to require from us, adding meaning to everything that we do. Um, I think I touched on this the first day that with AI and like all the technologies that are coming in place, work will easily be replaced. And um, there's going to be a shift from giving value to the work, as in like the targets achieved, to the meaning behind the work, to the aligned contribution that is fueling the work. That's what people are going to start giving value to. Because again, like I repeat, there is an elevation of consciousness that is happening. A lot of people are becoming aware, and the values of everyone, the collective values, are going to change. This work that is coming from a soul aligned place where you know that someone's gifts are actually playing out, this is what people are going to start giving value to. So if you are feeling like stuck, or you know that you are somehow not there yet, like this is your clue, and this is your like nudge to start really shifting into the things that really fuel you, and to first of all exploring what your gifts are and seeing how you can start taking initiative from that place. And if you're a parent and you're raising kids right now, that's what you need to focus on. Things that your kids are lit up by, not knowledge, not information, not like learning standardized things. You really need to focus on your kids' uniqueness and the things that light them up. That's the first superpower, nurturing your own unique gifts. Uh, how do you know what your gifts are? This is a long process if you are in a place where you're not, you know that you're not living an aligned life. Uh, First of all, start with the things that are not going well, the things that you're not happy with. That's where you start with, because they give you hints to what you want. The things that are not going well, the things that are causing you pain and frustration, and like you just completely feel oppressed by what's going, they are a clue to the things that you want. So start with those, get clear on what you want, then get clear on the feelings and the frequencies that you want to feel, that you want to show up with. And it takes a lot of self-reflection and a lot of honesty with yourself. Um, and there are things to help you. There are shortcuts to help you. Uh, my favorite shortcut is using the language of the archetypes to know your gifts. And when I say archetypes, there are like hundreds and hundreds of modalities for archetypes. Uh, My favorite one is the Gene Keys again. Uh, there's astrology, there's the tarot, there's it, the language of the archetypes helps us see what's possible, what's like possible at the highest level. And even if you go to old stories and myths and you see, yeah, the gene keys are wonderful because they are so precise. I like the language that they use because it's so precise and it's so accessible to the mind. That's how I find it. Uh, but other than the gene keys, there's lots and lots of modalities. And seeing which one sparks your attention or sparks your interest is part of the journey as well. So, eh, knowing that there's like a very high, like a very expanded state that is available to you gives you like a North Star to aim to. You, the aim is not to reach it. The aim is not to reach like the higher state, but to just know that they exist and to hold them so that you know what's possible and to take tiny steps towards them. Uh, so that was the first superpower, like your own unique gifts. I'm gonna stop there and just like if anyone has any question. Uh, Part of this process is recognizing your gifts when you see them. A lot of us tend to not see that these are gifts. Like we think we know that we have something, but we don't give it value, or we say, "Ah, what is that good for?" Or we hate it sometimes. We hate this thing about ourselves. And it's all part of the conditioning and the society that we grew up in, and like these external definitions of what gifts are supposed to look like. So that's part of the process is really recognizing that these are gifts. And I actually have a surprise for all of you. I'm gonna start a small series on exploring this theme of knowing what soul gifts are, so that we are able to recognize them when we see them in other people, especially in ourselves and in our young kids, instead of just dismissing them or taking them for granted. um, I I I'm planning to start that series as well. And a hint for you, like for you to start with, look at the places where other people tell you you're too much. You're too much of this thing. This is a very good place to start with if you want to discover your gifts. Yeah. So that was the superpower of nurturing your unique gifts. The second superpower is self-love. And what I mean by self-love is it involves lots of things. It involves self-acceptance, self-compassion, self-advocacy, self-leadership. It involves you knowing that you are two things. You're the human you who is, full of contradictions, who is subject to this polarity, who is, full of the shadow and the light. This is human you, but you are also infinite you. You are the whole universe expressing itself through you. This is self-love, really holding space for both human you and infinite you to coexist in this vessel right now. If you don't live like that, there is it becomes so difficult for you to actually take action on your gifts or to nurture them or to choose. Like it becomes so difficult when you don't have that part, that self-love component. And I don't say that to, make things harder or to uh, make you feel as if you need to beat up yourself if you're not in that position. But I just say that because it's life changing. Like for me, this is the thing that really shifted everything else because no matter how much work I was doing, no matter how pure my intentions were, if I did not come from that place of really loving myself first and treating myself with the full acceptance and the full um, appreciation and like the full um, reverence, that's the word that I'm going to use. If I don't treat myself like that, I cannot treat others like that. It starts with oneself. And my biggest lesson was motherhood and like raising up my own kids. And like when I wanted to give my best to my child, but I wasn't giving the best to myself, I couldn't give the best to my child. It's there was always something. There was always something that stopped me, that held me back. And I'm not perfect. Like it's a process. It's always a work in progress. It's but it has to start somewhere. It has to start somewhere. Uh, and it's very difficult in the beginning. It's very difficult in the beginning because there's so much layers and layers of things that we hold that stops us from that self-love. Uh, but that is so needed, especially in the years to come, because there's no more room for holding on to past grudges and past things that we're not able to forgive ourselves about or that we feel ashamed of. The shame, the guilt, the all those negativity, they can still be there, but we can also bring in the self-love and the acceptance. So it's not a matter of like completely releasing them. It's just a matter of being okay with them. Like being okay that they exist, but also love also exists. Acceptance also exists. And leading from that place of love, showing up from that place of love. It will also help us in going and in going on, in moving forward. Yeah, any feedback on that? I know this is a topic that raises a lot of questions sometimes, and it's most difficult to make it practical because it's like a switch. It's an insight that comes, and there's a moment where you just decide. At least that was my experience. Like my experience was that like there was a moment when I just decided that I'm done with this, mm, trying to fix these things about myself. Yeah, you share like for the last 8 years. Yeah, it takes years to get to that place where it's so natural and where you can talk about it. It takes years. Yeah. But it starts with a decision, like with a really a moment of decision inside you. And it's also like knowing that no one will love you more than you love yourself. No one is able to to know you and accept you more than you. You need to be the first person who gives yourself this kind of love and acceptance.
Yeah, thank you, Nadine. I can really relate to what you were saying because that's when things started to really shift for me, was the moment I started to accept myself. But it almost goes against everything we've grown up with,
Mm.
that it's, being big-headed or, it just felt so alien. It was really difficult. But that is when things started to shift. And I also thought about you talking about our superpowers. And again, it's almost like when something comes naturally to us, we don't see it as anything special because it wasn't hard, because you're just being what comes naturally and you don't see it as a gift. So, yeah, thank you. It was really helpful for reflection.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. It's that's the thing. They like sometimes we are lucky that other people recognize it in us as young children. But like in the modern world that we live in, there's a lot of conditioning that has happened, and it's slowly changing. It's slowly changing. Yeah. Um, there's a share in the chat, yeah, that you've been working on the relationship with yourself as a service to the whole. Yeah, because as you say, you meet others at the level that you are capable of meeting yourself. So true. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Christy. Yeah, yeah. It's eh, when we want to give to others, like we have to be able to give that thing to ourselves first. Yeah. And that's a superpower that is gonna change the world. I'm telling you. If it's gonna start with every single person and it's gonna ripple out to friends, to family, to societies, to systems. This is where it starts. It starts with you as an individual and it ripples out. And what comes to my mind is that, beautiful analogy where, every single one of us lights a light and then it's kind of uh, lights up until it's all a whole glowing glow. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you show up as a role model to your children. Yeah, they see you doing the work. Mhm. That's the best way. If we want to teach this to our kids, the best way is to show up as a role model. Mm. I mean, we can talk about it. Yeah, we can talk, but unless we really show up with it and like embody it as a way of living, that's when young kids will start seeing it and catching it. Yeah, yeah. And the last superpower that I'm gonna talk about, and I think I've slightly touched on this, it is connection to the divine, connection to that unseen hand of grace, that, magical, mystical life force that is moving through us. Connection, that's a superpower. Staying connected to that force which is greater than us, that is what's also gonna help us flourish in times of change and uncertainty, and when like in times of darkness as well as in times of light. This connection to that uh, unexplicable mystery. Um, and we stay connected through intuition. First of all, like our intuition is our connection medium. As I was talking about yesterday, like there's practices to keep strengthening our intuition. And also there's like making space for it, making space for the connection during our day, having this, um, taking pauses. Uh, some people do rituals in any way that works for you. It doesn't have to be super complicated, or it doesn't have to involve like certain things. I know some people light a candle, or some people uh, they call on certain elements. It, whatever works for you, and you need to find that magical way that works for you. So it becomes a fun way for you to play with, an experiment for you to, figure out how can you maintain that connection. And it brings me back to what I said at the beginning, that the universe wants something for you that you cannot even imagine right now. The universe wants greater things for you. And when we maintain that connection, it's easier for us to stay in the flow, to see the signs, to notice the impulses, and to receive what I call the sacred instructions. Like, okay, well, what is the great mystery telling me to do today? Maybe call this person, or do this, or these are the sacred instructions, and then you take action on them. Uh, and thank you, Christy. It, I want to end this by saying, by reminding us all here that, going back thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, we as humans, we were living in caves, we were still living so in tune with nature, and we survived, we evolved. So we're going through the same thing right now. It's it's a next step in our evolution. It doesn't mean that we're gonna, go extinct, or, but it's a next step. And when we trust that it's all for our good, it's all part of this process. When we trust that it's all happening for us, then it's easier for us to play our role, to really fully embrace that we're here to play a role, and to um, experiment. What is this role that we're here to play? Um, so that was my share today. Yeah. Uh, yeah, any questions, let me know. Yeah.
I don't have a question, but I have a like a comment. Uh, I I really felt very good about myself while listening to you because oh, I have two of the three superpowers already, and like I really was blessed with this strong sense of connection with the divine, and for me, it's like the very best proof of the divine's presence in our life because like I really see like they up there know exactly what we need in order to be able to survive, and they give us that because like they knew that I wouldn't be able to make it without this connection and this faith, very strong faith. And about self-love, uh maybe it's not full, but I really feel like that I have it and I've nailed it. But for me, the entrance point was not a decision, but it was, I just decided to work on self-compassion, on developing self-compassion and improving it. And I was blessed with, I was given amazing techniques for this that helped me like within a couple of months really go a big way in self-compassion. And then as it became like anchored in me, self-love developed naturally and quite rapidly. Like, so I think my story shows that there might be like various entry points into self-love. And the superpower I don't have is the one with the gifts, but I was so enjoying listening to it because I am now contemplating my brand sphere
Yeah.
in the Gene Keys. And so much of what you said was just either the same concept or very closely related to my contemplation of my brand. So I think my understanding of the brand that it's how exactly that our gifts shining out into the world. And when you said the a very good place to find our gifts is to notice where other people tell us that we are too much. And it was exactly what I've come to in my contemplation, that I don't let my brand shine because of the conditioning since I was a little child that told me when I do this, I am too much. So basically all my gifts and everything in my brand is what was deemed by the society and my family to be too much. So just I really enjoyed that my contemplation and what you said was so close to each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing how synchronicities work. And how when like you start doing the work, there's certain things that just come into your life right on time. And that's how the universe is just, working its magic. It's amazing how it brought you and me together into this exact moment. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Mm. And congratulations, you're for actually acknowledging that, oh, you do have these superpowers. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Olya. That was beautiful. I also wanted to just comment on what I found really helpful is how you said that if we have things that we find difficult to forgive or we hold shame around, we don't have to get rid of it, that we can bring in that self-compassion and self-love as well as. Um, and there's somebody in the family who is really struggling with that right now. So I appreciate your share about it, because maybe it will give them an entry point in being able to, yeah, just start. So grateful for that. Thank you, Nadine.
Yeah. Yeah, that concept helped me personally in my own journey, is that you like sometimes there's so much work to be done, but we don't start because we don't allow that tiny spark of love to enter. We're just focused on getting rid of the things that we don't like. But again, I'm gonna go back to the law of duality. Like nothing exists without its opposite. There's always gonna be shame and guilt and all the negative stuff. But there's also gonna be the good stuff that we get to bring in. And sometimes bringing in the love is enough. We don't have to get rid or fix or whatever. We just bring in the love and make it apparent in the space. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned earlier, I am preparing probably a YouTube series on how we can start seeing our gifts and recognizing them for what they are. And if you want a head start on this, especially if you are a parent or a caregiver and you have a teenager or a tween, if you want a head start to learn about this, please reach out to me, send me an email or book a call with me. I'll put the link under the video recording when I send it out. Uh, I feel that this is the time when all hands are needed on deck. Every single family member is needed to um, help th these beautiful new souls that are on this earth and the new kids that will come in the upcoming years. Like, we need to really start nurturing the gifts as they arrive. Yeah. So thank you so much. And I really appreciate you and everybody on the replay. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.